This the first time it's ever been done. Me performing BMF with the icon himself. This shit gonna be special.
Epic.
Get your tickets right now.
Who own your masters? Who own your masters? I'll buy your masters.
50 Cent just went off, clowning Big Meech like never before after rumors started flying that Rick Ross might have scammed him out of a crazy $120 million deal. Ross had Meech dreaming big, talking Hollywood movies, massive projects, and a full-on superstar comeback.
Yes, Charleston White is correct. I'm a rapper, not a villain.
But in the end, none of it actually happened. Now Big Meech is out here looking played, while 50's turning the whole thing into comedy gold. He's mocking Meech all over the industry, and fans are losing it, saying the only way this mess could get settled is if Meech hops in a boxing ring with 50. Just picture that headline, Meech versus 50, the showdown of the century. But let's rewind this chaos and see how things really spiraled out of control. After Meech tried to leave his street life behind and rebuild his image, he was banking on a major comeback. That's when Rick Ross swooped in, flashing promises of $120 million film deals, wild documentaries, and movie-level projects that sounded too good to be true. Ross was talking like Meech was about to secure a Marvel-sized bag. And to make it worse, Ross wasn't quiet about it. He was flexing loud, like Hollywood studios were already cutting checks. On paper, it looked like Meech was finally about to cash in on his name. But in reality, Ross didn't deliver anything. Now it's looking like he just used Meech's legacy to flex on 50 and boost his own image. Legends, this one's gonna be wild. That's how it all started, and you could feel something big brewing. While Rick Ross was out here flashing movie dreams and chasing clout, his longtime rival 50 Cent was quietly stacking real wins. 50 wasn't just talking, he was putting his money where his mouth was. He funded the entire BMF series, paid for Lil Meech's acting lessons, and handed him the spotlight to truly shine. Those are solid receipts, no cap. Meanwhile, Ross was just all talk and no action, smoke and mirrors. And it's not just 50 saying that either. People close to him backed it up too. Tony Yayo even broke it down publicly, straight up exposing who really carried the weight. Now the word on the street is that Big Meech feels betrayed, broke, and finally realizing that Ross only linked with him to take slick shots at 50. That's the part that really cuts deep. Because instead of bossing up, Meech is looking like a pawn in another man's power play. But those fake promises? That was just the warm-up. Things hit a whole new level of messy once Meech's own son got dragged into it. Lil Meech was caught on camera chilling with Ross at the club, and that's when everything spiraled out of control. Just days before, leaked texts had him supposedly saying F Ross, then boom, he's seen partying right beside him like nothing ever happened. Fans were confused, the streets were loud, and everyone was asking the same thing. What's really going on here? That video went viral in seconds. Cameras flashing, lights blazing red, and right in the center, Lil Meech and Rick Ross standing shoulder to shoulder. They were whispering, posing for pics, and grinning like long-lost friends while the whole internet watched in shock. It was a total plot twist that had everybody asking, what did we just see? And of course, 50 Cent wasn't gonna stay quiet. Not a chance. He hopped online and dropped one of his classic troll bombs. He joked that Ross told Lil Meech to give him his dad's address so he could send some Wingstop wings over. But that wasn't just a random jab. That was a message wrapped in shade. 50 was basically clowning Ross, saying he's not building Meech up, just feeding him leftovers, like some fries on the side of a fake deal. Brutal. But things got even crazier when 50 decided to go nuclear. Out of nowhere, he posted, then deleted, a wild claim that he had to personally step in and send Lil Meech to rehab. According to 50, Meech had been showing up to the BMF set completely gone, so faded he even threw up during a weapons test.
I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film.
Then, when they checked his truck, they allegedly found whippets stuffed inside. 50 even admitted he didn't know what whippets were at first. Had to Google it. He made himself look like the one trying to save Lil Meech from spiraling out, while throwing shade that Meech's own father was out here co-signing those same reckless habits. What a mess. This wasn't just internet talk. Lil Meech really made headlines after getting arrested at an airport. That move alone showed how wild things were getting for him. So when 50 Cent decided to spill everything online, people started whispering that maybe, just maybe, 50 was the one who actually saved Lil Meech's career from going off the rails. But then came the real twist, because nobody could wrap their head around why, after everything, Meech seemed to be siding with Rick Ross instead of showing love to 50. That's when things got 10 times messier. Another voice jumped into the chaos. Michael Rainey Jr., the actor who plays Tariq on Power. When a fan asked him live if he felt bad for Lil Meech, Michael didn't hold back. He went savage with his response, no filter at all. That clip went viral instantly, spreading across every feed. And guess who reposted it, laughing? Yep, 50 Cent himself. He doubled down hard, echoing Michael's words right in his own caption, making it clear he stood by his power star all the way. It wasn't just a repost, it was a stamp of approval. And that only pushed the narrative further that 50 thinks Lil Meech just isn't built for this game. The timing couldn't have been worse for Meech. It made him look like he was losing respect, not just from fans, but from everyone connected to 50's empire. But here's the real kicker. This tension didn't come out of nowhere. It had been bubbling ever since Big Meech's so-called Welcome Back concert. The moment where all the drama first started to take shape. When Big Meech came home, the streets were buzzing. Everyone expected fireworks, a celebration packed with rap legends, and a night that would go down in hip-hop history. It was supposed to be the comeback of the decade, but instead of keeping 50 Cent, the man who literally turned his life story into a hit TV empire, at the front of the stage, Meech shocked everyone by leaning on Rick Ross to promote the event. There's even a clip of Ross hyping it up, talking like this was about to be the most legendary return ever. But when the big day came, it all fell apart. The concert flopped hard. Promoters pulled out. The hype died instantly, and every bit of that promise just vanished. For 50, that was the final straw. After all the work he put into the BMF show and helping Lil Meech build a career, being pushed aside for Ross was the ultimate sign of disrespect. That's when 50 went ice cold. He started calling Meech out, accusing him of making shady backroom deals with the feds and dragging his name all over the internet. And to make it even worse, teaming up with Ross only made the fallout explode 10 times bigger. From the outside, it looked like Meech traded loyalty for clout. The streets saw it clear as day, and 50 wasted no time stamping that narrative with his non-stop trolling posts. What should have been a historic comeback turned into the moment everything flipped. Overnight, Big Meech went from being seen as a boss to someone fumbling his own legacy, and the whole world watched it happen. Things hit a whole new level when Big Meech finally decided to clap back, and he did it with pure fire. Out of nowhere, he posted an old picture of him and 50 Cent standing side by side, but with one major twist, he slapped a giant rat emoji right over 50's face. That move wasn't subtle. It was a straight-up shot, calling 50 a snitch for the whole world to see. And Meech didn't stop there. In the caption, he went all in, calling 50 an internet gangster, basically saying that all 50 does is talk tough online, hiding behind his phone and trolling from the sidelines instead of being about real action. That post sent social media into a frenzy. Of course, Rick Ross couldn't resist jumping in. He slid into the mix right away, clowning 50 and mocking him for being pressed about their link-up. Fans instantly saw it as a tag team attack, Ross co-signing Meech just to get under 50's skin even more. The trolling turned into a full-blown circus, with Ross hyping Meech up like he had just been officially recruited into his anti-50 squad. Then came the viral clip everyone's been talking about. Ross flat out mocking 50, laughing about how mad he was seeing Meech standing right next to him. It was clear as day. This wasn't about friendship anymore, it was an alliance against their common enemy. But the crazy part? Everyone could see the irony, because at the end of the day, 50 Cent was the one who actually gave Lil Meech real opportunities. Acting classes, TV roles, meow, steady checks. 50 Cent gave Lil Meech the full setup to build a career. Meanwhile, Rick Ross only came through with flashy photo ops and empty promises. Yet somehow, Meech looked more eager to ride with Ross than the man who actually built his platform. That strange loyalty switch had everyone confused. And it sparked the next wild rumor flying through the internet, that Big Meech wanted to fight 50 Cent for real. After that rat emoji stunt and all the trolling from Ross, fans went crazy spreading talk of a celebrity boxing match, 50 versus Big Meech. Some people thought it was hilarious, others said it was downright sad. Seeing a man who was once feared in the streets now being reduced to fighting for clout like it's a reality TV gimmick. But the rumor didn't just blow up from memes, it came straight from Meech himself. When asked if he'd ever swing on 50, he joked that he might lace up the gloves if it came down to it. Even if he said it half joking, the internet didn't care. They ran with it like wildfire. Suddenly, blogs were dropping fantasy posters, fans were debating pay-per-view prices, and everyone was arguing over who'd actually win if fists started flying. But just when the hype reached boiling point, Whack 100 jumped into the chat, and that's when everything flipped upside down. He claimed this beef wasn't really about loyalty or Rick Ross at all. It was about buried secrets. According to Whack, Meech's own confidant Tammy Cowan had allegedly told 50 that Meech once cooperated with federal authorities in other street cases. That bomb from Whack 100 hit like a grenade. If any of that was true, then this whole feud wasn't just petty trolling anymore. It was something way deeper. This wasn't just about online beef anymore. It was about a secret that could rewrite Big Meech's entire legacy. Whack 100 didn't hold back for a second. He claimed straight up that Tammy Cowan ain't someone trusted deep inside Meech's own circle, had once told 50 directly that Meech had worked with federal authorities on other street cases. That's the kind of accusation that can't be walked back, especially for a man built on street respect. And the timing? Brutal. Meech was already catching heat online, getting called broke for the failed concert, clowned for rolling with Rick Ross, and now this? A whisper about him possibly cooperating with the feds hit the streets, and that's like a stain that never fades. Once that rumor takes off, it sticks, no matter what the truth is. The whole conversation shifted overnight. People weren't just talking about boxing matches or Instagram trolling anymore. They were questioning if Meech's whole reputation had been a lie. 50 didn't even have to lift a finger at first. The internet went to work for him. Memes exploded, old clips resurfaced, and fans started dissecting every move, wondering if Meech's soft approach toward Ross was his way of keeping certain people quiet. For a man who once symbolized loyalty and silence, even the thought of him working with the feds was enough to shake the room. And of course, Ross jumped in again, spinning it like 50 was just desperate to destroy Meech's name. But for fans watching it unfold, this wasn't just trolling anymore. This felt real. It looked like cracks were forming in a myth that had stood untouched for years. In short, Whack was flat out suggesting that Big Meech might not have been as loyal to the streets as everyone believed. And that's when 50's whole snitch narrative really started taking shape. Whack didn't ease up either. He even hinted that Tammy might have flipped on Meech out of revenge, either because she felt abandoned when he got locked up, or because she was fed up with him trying to take back control of his own life rights. What a twist. Remember those life rights everyone was talking about? Yeah, the same ones that had already been negotiated with 50 Cent for the BMF series. That detail made everything sting a whole lot more, because it hinted this wasn't just betrayal, it was business gone ugly. And if even a piece of it was true, that would have put Big Meech in a dangerous corner. Imagine the person closest to you, someone who knows every secret, being the same one feeding your rival ammo to use against you. That's cold. Whack didn't leave anything to the imagination either. He spelled it out clear as day, claiming Tammy might have been sliding info straight into 50's hands the whole time. That statement alone had fans wide-eyed and whispering, because if 50's shots were coming from inside Meech's own circle, that meant the empire wasn't being destroyed from the outside. It was rotting from within. Now, whether Whack was dropping real insider facts or just stirring the pot for attention, one thing was undeniable. It gave 50 even more firepower to keep clowning. And fans wasted no time jumping back in with memes and jokes that went viral overnight. Then came the moment that had everybody talking. Big Meech stepped out in public rocking Kanye West's iconic graduation jacket. On the surface, it looked like just another flashy outfit flex, but the symbolism had people going crazy. Was Meech trying to send a message, like he'd graduated from the street code? Or was he trolling, flipping the whole snitch narrative back at the internet? That jacket wasn't just fashion, it was a statement. Fans immediately noticed the connection. That same graduation album was the one that outsold 50 back in their infamous 2007 face-off. Some laughed it off as a random coincidence, but others swore Meech wore it on purpose, as a slick jab at old wounds and one more way to poke at 50 Cent without saying a word. A former ally who once stood right beside him, now possibly using 50's biggest L as a weapon. Either way, that moment sent shockwaves through the game, because it really looked like Big Meech was leaning into 50's most embarrassing loss just to stir the pot even more. But the wildest part wasn't even the jacket, it was 50 Cent's silence. Normally, Curtis Jackson is the first one to clown somebody online. He lives for those moments. But this time, nothing. No memes, no captions, no slick comments. And that's exactly why fans started whispering that maybe 50 was holding back on purpose, saving his ammo for something way bigger. Because when 50 skips an easy roast, that usually means he's loading up a nuclear shot. And when he fires, it always hits heavy. At this point, it's crystal clear. This isn't just internet trolling anymore. 50 has locked in on Big Meech like it's personal. Most beefs fade after a few weeks, but not this one. Every single move Meech makes sparks another response. Some say 50 feels flat out betrayed. After all, he's the one who put Lil Meech on, gave him a platform, and turned his story into a hit show, only to watch him team up with Rick Ross, his biggest rival. Others say it's deeper, that for 50, this isn't about loyalty, it's about power and dominance. He doesn't just want to win, he wants to crush anyone who dares cross him. Letting things slide would make him look weak, and that's one thing 50 Cent has never allowed. And if this feud ever jumps from Instagram to the boxing ring, it won't just be entertainment anymore. It'll be a full-blown final chapter in a war that's already gone too far. One man fighting to protect his legacy, the other ready to tear it apart for laughs. And judging by how this story's unfolding, the next explosive move might already be locked and loaded. So what do you think? Will Big Meech finally clap back? Or is 50 about to end this saga on his own terms? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, share this video, subscribe, and keep it locked right here. Because what's coming next in this drama is about to shake the whole block.